Hi guys, welcome to another LivinginSAtv video. David and Slava here guys, and guess what? We are on our way to Orania to explore that place and know what's going on there guys. But again, stay tuned because once again this video will blow your mind. As you guys can see is like, yeah, we're on our way to Orania, so yeah. Hey brother, you're gonna get your first rainy day since you came down, eh?
After so many days of sunshine, we get heavy rain.
What you think about our national roads?
No, it's pretty decent quality so far, you know, all the lines, everything, you know.
First world.
yeah, it's first world, yeah.
Slav is like sleeping. Okay guys, almost, we're just stopping for the coffee. Now 299 kilometers more and we'll be down there. Brother,
yeah,
you okay?
Yeah.
He is loving it. What a beautiful road. Guys, we just stopped in the middle of nowhere. Look at this. Nothing around us. This is like the dirt road to Orania. Yeah, so cool, yeah. Just want to mention such a cool bridge. What a beautiful road. Okay, so 15 kilometers of dirt road. So not an easy place to get to, guys. Yeah, we just left the gravel road. And look at this. It's the first bridge into Orania. Show you guys quickly. Wow, what a view. What a view.
Your destination is on the right.
So it's a pot stall. And we're gonna meet Joost, guys. Okay guys, so now we're going with Joost himself just to do a tour around Orania to show it. To give you guys an idea of how costly the houses are. 2.7 million. 2.7 million. Keep in mind they are here in the Karoo, it's a very arid area. Okay, I'm going now for a tour.
We do, I think a good estimate would be to say that we receive about 10,000 visitors per year in Orania. So that's quite a lot. And, that also, contributes to the fact that tourism is Orania's fourth biggest economic sector. So we have a real big tourism sector. A lot of people coming through. We do a lot of tours every year, to show people our community and our town. So Orania is, as you might know, it used to be a workers' camp where people who worked on the Orange River scheme, which is a fascinating project from the 1960s. They built 2 dams to make the Orange River a sustainable river. And the engineers and the project managers and the workers lived here in Orania, and then the government evacuated the town and sold it. They wanted to sell it to a local farmer and so on, but at that stage the early Orania thinkers bought the town to start this new project. Just for interest sake, here to our left hand side, we are a cultural community first and foremost. So we try to celebrate our culture by displaying things that's important to us.
Right.
This specifically is the Battle of Blood River. The Battle of Blood River, which is showed on that mural as well as written out there with the official monument on that wall, is part of the way that we celebrate our culture publicly. The battle was fought in modern day KwaZulu-Natal. It is the end of a war between the Boere, our ancestors, and the Zulus. And we were vastly outnumbered, 353 men against 10,000 Zulus, and they made a covenant with God that if He gives them victory, they will celebrate the day as a Sabbath for eternity. As far as they can, and teach their children to do the same. And important thing to also notice is that Orania celebrates its own cultural holidays. So we don't follow the South African calendar of public holidays. We follow the Orania calendar, and that is quite good. So just some notes on that. Over here you got some small restaurants and jewelry and things like that. Stokkies Drive Park. So that's a fairly recent development in the bigger picture of Orania. Some clothing shops, some IT, people that's working IT from here in Orania, providing services outside of Orania. So in the rest of South Africa, or even internationally, they deliver a service which makes it possible for them to bring in money into the Orania economy. So as I said, the town was evacuated in the 80s, became a ghost town, in very, very bad shape, and we had to restart. So there was no economy. There was very, very few infrastructure, physical infrastructure, installments, and people needed to restart, yeah. And who buys into an idea in its early stages? Intellectuals. So it was lawyers, doctors, professors, things like that, people like that who bought into this idea and they moved here. There was absolutely, almost nothing, but definitely no economy. So they had to start from scratch. So you can think that people got poor, intellectual, successful people got poor here, but they worked through it, and now Orania's got quite a thriving economy. Certainly outperforming, other towns in the region, to a specific sense. This pipeline was one of our very early projects, of which we are very proud, because water here in the Karoo is of extreme importance. We did not have the engineers, the skills, the people to necessarily tackle this project, but we had to make a plan, because there was a sheep farm to the west of Orania which we bought, and then laid this pipe with the idea of getting water there and developing it into very nice agricultural lands, as you can see over there. This pipeline was one of the first big projects. To tell you the truth, there was some specialized welding done on this pipeline, and it was done by two kids, 15 and 16 years old. They were taken out of school, went on a advanced welding course in Welkom in South Africa, came back, welded the entire pipeline, and then they had to catch up their schoolwork when the other kids had holiday. But there was a big project that made it possible for us to start with our agricultural expansion, which was pecan nuts at that stage primarily. Now it's also maize and wheat and things like that, which is also nice and important. The fact that we do all our own labor. We do not misuse anyone else to do our labor for us, which is a standard practice in South Africa, I would almost say. So we do our own work for a lot of reasons. That's a founding principle of Orania. So if you have a shortage of labor, agricultural projects that you can mechanize and automate is very important. A pecan nut you can harvest with tractors. You shake the tree with a tractor, all the nuts fall on the ground, and you can blow it into big lines with a blower, and then pick it up with the harvester. So quite important aspect of that is the labor aspect. Over here you will see the wheat that we grow. There are quite a lot of wheat and maize production in Orania itself. So the wheat and the maize we plant on the same fields. So what you do is, because of the fact that we laid the pipe, we have the water, you can plant 2 harvests per year. So you can plant maize, harvest it in the winter, and then quickly put the wheat in and harvest it in just before Christmas. So you have two harvests per year on the same field. Is the fact that we are trying to build a place, a physical place for our people, but we're also trying to develop culturally, right? So a sense of identity, a sense of belonging, a sense of where we came from and where we are going. And we try to build that into our architecture. Although we are still a pioneer community and still young and still small, it is important to already establish some of our values in our construction style. We always say the outside of a house is the inside of the city that we want to build. So what we build now will one day be the inside, the inner rooms of our city. This is a very interesting style of construction. It comes from the Cape Dutch. So it's a Dutch influence style. The way that they constructed houses in the Cape washed over to the Karoo style of construction in the rest of the Karoo area, which is very practical houses. You can see the veranda is close to the street. It's a very social kind of house. The house is on the front end of the yard. And then you have a big veranda where you can sit and socialize and have a barbecue and things like that. And you will see that, all the roofs are in the same form, as well as you have the vineyard on the veranda. So that's kind of a standard design of which you can add your own kind of way. So here's some examples of that. There's more examples in other places as well, but these are some of the ones that we wanted to show. Now, just a while ago we had 160 active construction sites in the town. So a lot of development happening there.
So new people coming to live here. Where do they come from predominantly?
Around the country. There's actually been an influx from the Western Cape, which was the most applications came from the Western Cape in the
The climate almost reminds me of what I've seen in like Mexico. And I've been to Mexico, but this is the image I have. Cacti. Yeah. It's dry. It gets hot. And would you say it's similar?
And only the tough survive. You've got some restaurants here and, clothing shops and things like that. It's just a bit of our economic sector. Over here you've got a place that services tires and wheel alignment and things like that. The smaller plots are much more affordable these days. Interesting fact about this house, it was constructed by an all-female construction team.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So give me the basics, what's the population at this moment?
Orania's current population is about 3,000 inhabitants, with the growth rate of between 12 and 15% every year. And then something that's interesting is the average age is about 35. And we've got our training institutions, both secondary and tertiary, as well as preschool education, quite big. So you've got a lot of kids in Orania. That is important for us in terms of the fact that it's recycling, but also we sell the products. At the time where the Boers or the Afrikaners moved away from British occupation, they moved inland. And the British were, I almost want to say, shouting, and they say, you will stay British citizens wherever you go. You can go to the equator. But these guys knew that if you move somewhere where the British government had no way of physically controlling you, you will be free to an extent. And they were right, because they got their freedom later on. This stairways was created in an effort to also make this harsh, almost desert place that we live in a bit nicer. And the organization, the Barefoot Women, comes from after the Great Trek went over the Drakensberg, the biggest mountain series in South Africa. The English got them again in Natal, and they were again under British control. And the men said, maybe let's settle, can't be that bad. And the women said, we would rather go back over the mountain barefoot than to stay under British occupation. We will be free. So the Barefoot Woman takes on projects in Orania. So this is built with mosaic tiles. You can see the tiles, also some sentimental plates that people got from their grandmothers or their mothers or so that they built into this. So you can see the mosaic starting here at the bottom steps. You can see the roots. We are rooted in our Christian faith. We are rooted here in the Karoo, in this area. Then you can see the Orania, the name Orania is written there from the 4th step upwards with mirror, right? So it's a reflection of who we are, and it reflects back to us. It's very symbolic. And then you can see a tree, right? A branch of a tree.
Yes.
A stem of a tree. On the left-hand side, there's a basket with nuts in it. And on the right-hand side, there's a bag with olives in it, representing our agricultural, sectors. And in the tree itself, in the leaves, you can see the different seasons of the year, the leaves of the different seasons, representing change, the good times and the bad times, and we go through all of them. And then on the very top, there's a sun representing the light of God shining in the world. Here on the left-hand side, there's small tiles, a timeline of the community's development. And here on the right-hand side, also important, is this piece of iron, right? It's put there so that you can push your bicycle up and down. We're also trying to empower people to cycle or to walk more. To state, there's no crime in Orania. There's no place on earth with no crime, right? So it would be an unfair, way of thinking. It would be unfair to create that, hope in people's minds. There's a place that's 100% crime free. Obviously, no one is perfect. We're not in the heaven. Not even Orania. And it's a real place with real people, with an influx of people of between 12 and 15%. Obviously, there are some people that come in here that have criminal tendencies and so on. But I think the two distinctions is Orania filters, criminals out, people with a history of criminality, bringing down the criminal rate tremendously. And secondly, we don't use our taxpayers' money to keep people locked up if they commit crime in Orania. We just simply banish them from the town. And we have a right to do that. It's been tested. And we have a right to remove someone's right to residency in Orania. Meaning that if you commit a crime here, you steal something, you get asked to leave and you get prohibited Orania's, coming on Orania's land. and it's not our problem anymore. We also obviously reported to the South African police, and you can go your merry way, but we are not going to use our local levies and taxes to pay to keep criminals in jail. So and the South African police knows about the people that commit crime here. There are people who commit crime here, and we try to handle it as good as we can. This is an interesting project. Obviously, what we get also is a lot of people that come here with nothing, right? So they've lost everything, and Orania is a bit of a last hope for them. So what do? A lot of people think Orania should just magically care for everyone. Obviously, we don't have the resources, but also we don't want to create the mentality of people coming here for handouts.
Dependency.
Yeah, dependency. We don't want to create a dependency. So what we did is not using the local tax of our people, only using voluntary donations. We built this and many other similar housing structures, which removes the highest barrier to entry in Orania, which is the price of housing. So you get a very fair price, a subsidized price, subsidized by voluntary donations, meaning you can get entry to Orania, and then there's abundance of work. If you're willing to work, you can make a living here. And with that in mind, you still have to pay your monthly rent. We won't be in a situation where you just refuse to pay, then you will leave your apartment. You will lose your apartment. But as long as you pay that subsidized price, you can continue and you can work in Orania. Very interestingly, we built it with the money that our international supporters helped us raise. So you will see the Flemish people in Belgium, which is good friends of the Afrikaner, as well as the South Tyrolians, which is an Austrian community in Italy, given to Italy after the First World War. They wanted to keep their identity as Austrians, and they maintained it, and now they're 90% independent, as well as the Dutch friends of South Africa and of Orania. So they helped us with this project.
Okay guys, let's learn about the Bank of Orania's story.
So the story here is that Orania Savings and Credit was created as a very simple entity very long ago, more than 20 years ago. We had a commercial bank that visited Orania in the 90s, and people were still getting paid with checks, right, in the 90s. And then Absa stopped coming to Orania, and we had to make a plan. So one of the elderly guys in town, he said, listen, gents, if you get paid with a check, give it to me once a month. I will drive with everyone's checks to Hopetown, the closest town. I will cash all the checks. I'll bring back the cash. And it worked very well. And then the laborer said, listen, Uncle Lucas, the founder of this entity, he said, listen, Uncle Lucas, you give all our salary at one moment, at once. And then we spent everything. Hold back half. And in the middle of the month, you give us the other half so that we can spend our money more wisely. And suddenly he had a lot of people's money in his hands, and he said, whoa, we need to formalize this. And as grace from above would have it, Uncle Ter Schumann at this stage, an actuary who left a big bank in South Africa, moved to Orania, and the two of them started a credit union to act as a bank. Now, the Reserve Bank of South Africa saw this, what we were doing, and they developed new laws to help empower traditional communities, rural areas in South Africa. And they was looking at Orania as a model. And the reality that we created here actually grew with as the Reserve Bank made the new laws. We worked together. They visited Orania multiple times, the representatives of the South African Reserve Bank, and OSK, Orania Savings and Credit, as a cooperative bank started. What does this mean? It means every person with an account at this bank is a shareholder. Meaning that if the bank does well, all its shareholders does well as well. The people of Orania owns the Bank of Orania, a very unique model. It won multiple prizes for what it's built over the years. In the previous financial year, it did 1.3 billion in transaction value, raised public capital of, I think, about 400 million, empowering the people of Orania with home loans, study loans, business loans, doing a lot of wonderful work here in Orania. It's an institution that we build ourselves, and as I say, if it goes well with the bank, they can give better interest for the people, whether that be for saving or for lending, borrowing money. They have, for example, now a Black Friday special. I think it's the only bank with a Black Friday special where they give 0.25% discount for this, while for new loans and so on. So they make it really, it's a bank for the people, and the people of Orania owns the bank. So one of the things of Orania that is quite popular to use for other communities is the banking system. So we have liaison with other communities, for example, Xhosa community in the Eastern Cape, traditional community who wants more independence, as well as the Barolong people close to Bloemfontein, all traditional black communities, and they've specifically been looking at the Orania model in general, but specifically at the bank to empower their people. So in Mnyameni, we have a formal memorandum of understanding with them to work together, share ideas. We don't share our resources. We need all our resources for Orania, but we share our ideas. And they established the same kind of cooperative bank there, learning from the Orania model. I understand that they are currently the biggest cooperative bank in South Africa in terms of shareholders, and also the fastest growing, and won multiple awards for that as well through the years. This is all new development the past few years. As I said, property in Orania got very expensive because there's a massive demand for housing and a small supply. Over there you can see there's a lot of solar on the roofs. We also the municipality in the country that pays the best for private citizens and businesses who feed back into the grid. Right, so we incentivize homeowners to put up solar systems to add to our grid. And we buy it back. So I think we buy back per kilowatt hour about R1.50. The municipality that pays the second best is Cape Town, and they pay 80 cents. So I think we're the municipality in the country that pays the best for people generating electricity, private homeowners. Over here you will see the construction of our new old age home. And that is the fourth building to complete the 4 buildings that will surround our first city center. So the 4 corners of the street here will create our new city center. The first one of 2 at least. This is our safety and security building. They have got a small permanent staff. It's a registered security company. But what they do that makes them very unique is the amount of people in Orania that's willing to volunteer for things is phenomenal. People are involved in the community. So the biggest part of our safety and security effort by far is volunteers. It's people who take time off from their businesses, from their jobs, take leave to train, to serve in safety and security teams, in firefighting teams, in water rescue teams, in medical teams, to support the efforts of what's going on here at Orania Safety and Security Services. The backside is our medical center. You will not find another community in South Africa with only 3,000 inhabitants, unless it's maybe a big private expensive estate, with the medical care that we have as a real community, right? So we have a medical center. We have got 2 general practitioners. We've got nurses. We have a blood laboratorium, radiographers. We have physiotherapists in town. We have a pharmacy and so on, giving good medical care to our people. We also established this helicopter landing pad to make it possible for medical helicopters to land here. We've got a good relationship with Rocket, and they land here if there's critical patients to be flown to big hospitals. To your left, you will see our electric public transport arriving. So that little bus runs on electricity, and it for 9 rands or 9 ora, it will take you anywhere in the town, and it works also with an app that is locally coded. Wow. In our city development plan, we don't want an empty CBD. So part of our development, for example, here we combine, on the bottom half is office space, on the top half is student housing. So what does that mean? It means that there's always people. During the day, you have people in the offices, and during night, people are sleeping in their accommodation, the students. So you don't have an empty city. You always have activity. So we don't want to, in our city development plan, we don't want to build a big grey city like Johannesburg. We want to build a city that's alive. Over here is a aluminium factory, one of only 3 in the country. And with the big load shedding, so maybe your international viewers don't know what load shedding is, but it's something we get in South Africa, rolling blackouts of the power grid. So, when it was very bad in 2020 and 2021, and so it was up to 13 hours per day without electricity. These guys were fully dependent on solar, so they were the only factory in the country that could produce the product that they make. So obviously they made a good bit of money because everyone was, using them at this stage. Interesting project to our left-hand side, as part of an effort to empower our people to become homeowners. So the plot here was made available back in the day for 10% of market value. At that stage, it was about 25,000 rands a plot. So people who come from situations that's maybe less than ideal in terms of socioeconomic realities, even they had the opportunity to buy a plot for 30,000 rands a plot, and then they got very, very good deals in terms of loaning money for construction. So what we did is we empowered people to become homeowners, some of them for the very first time in their lives. But the rules were that you had to be in Orania for 2 years or more, had a good stable job, and earn less than a certain amount, so that a rich guy doesn't come in and buy a lot of these and resell them. So the idea was for specific people. Over here, we have an interesting brick. What does that remind you of, that style of brick? Lego blocks, yeah. It's a brick that's created in Orania. It's a big brick, but inside it's empty. You can build very fast with it. We call it maxi stones. You'll see these houses are constructed with it. It's built in Orania. So it's one of our products that we produce here in order to achieve fast construction. A tradition that we have in the construction world in Orania, all the different construction teams, if you start with the roof of your house, they put up the Orania flag to celebrate the fact that you're almost there. You're almost done with the construction. So you can see the flag waving in the wind.
I do.
Bit of a Orania tradition. We don't have gravel roads because money was stolen or there was corruption. We have gravel roads because we thought about it to tar it, but we also realized that it's more than 3 to 4 million rand per kilometer to tar the roads.
Wow.
Which will not give us any economic return on that investment. It will be nice, but things that will bring economic return on investment is high-speed internet. So now we install in all new construction, all new plots, we install the ability to connect fiber optic cables. What will grow our economy is industrial plots. So we rather service industrial plots. So we prioritize things that will grow our economy above things that are cosmetic, like tar roads. So it's fine. People can drive on these gravel roads. We will maintain them and so on. But in the end, we must, in the short term, in the medium term, we must do things that will grow our economy. That's more important.
So you're basically thinking, as a company, what's worth investing?
I would say we are thinking with financial thoughts, but we are thinking as a community. I think one of the big focuses for us is the road towards energy independence. And then service delivery. We're focusing a lot on service delivery. The road to 15,000 people in Orania. Sewage, water, electricity, those kind of things, to build these aspects out, to upgrade our safety and security. A safe region is a safe Orania, so we play a bigger and bigger role in maintaining that as well, helping our neighboring towns with their safety and security to be able to get to a point where we have a safe region. Church. Not really see in South Africa anymore. The municipal swimming pools in South Africa has gone to complete destruction. It's actually very sad. We maintain this with our own money. We keep it clean with our own money. Everything that you see here is done with our own money. We've recently upgraded the pump system. The nice and blue that you see of the water, we've got nice filtration going on. We're very proud of this. It's a place where the people of the community can come and enjoy themselves. Because the people of Orania are hardworking people, the ability to swim here and enjoy yourself is a nice method of relaxation. I think it's 3/4 of Olympic size. We have now and then we have swimming competitions here. Our water rescue guys for the river, they can come and train here. So we have a lovely facility. You're welcome to walk around.
This is a local currency. It's called Ora.
That's correct.
Okay.
So that's good. Obviously, that's the start of the word Orania.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
So this is actually the ship. It looks like a barn, but wow.
Okay guys, every Wednesday the Orania Athletics Club gathers here at the local gym for a time trial. It's a 4-kilometer or an 8-kilometer trial, and people from all ages, starting as young as, I don't know, 4 or 5 years old until up to sometimes up to into the 70s. They gather here for the run. They have fun in the community.
You did it. You relaxed quickly.
So we are currently on Monument Hill. Monument Hill is kind of a way that we understand our history and our future simultaneously in one thing. The idea here is that we have a half circle of monuments from our history. Now, you must note, none of these busts that you see here, we bought. None of them, we made none of them. All of them is either refugees that we've thrown away elsewhere, or they've been donated. We put them up in a half circle behind this figure. So we put them up in a half circle because they are in the past. None of them are alive anymore. None of them play an active role in politics anymore. But it is part of our past. No nation on earth is only good. No nation on earth is only bad. We have good and bad in our history like everyone else. We put them in a half circle behind this one. They cannot see into the future. They cannot see over the edge of the hill. But they are part of our history. However, in the center, front and center, we put this man. It's a young boy. As you can see, he's rolling up his sleeves.
Yeah.
Let me quickly show you that. Yeah.
Guys, let me give you a proper tour now that all the lights are on. Closet. You're gonna have a very nice bed for you, brother. Look at that. Amazing. Let me show your room. Okay, cool. I'm actually going to use the bathtub.
You know what you're gonna do?
Cool kitchen. It's my room. I think it's really cool. 6:30 in the morning. Majestic creatures.
Do they have breakfast for us? Yes. Okay, that's
Okay, let's have breakfast, guys.
Did not know it would be that big.
What you expecting? You asked for a big cappuccino, there you go.
Don't think I can finish that one. Maybe.
So, brother, what you having?
Well, I just got an omelet with ground beef and cheese. So pretty basic, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's substantial. I need energy in the morning. Exactly.
Some pop with horse. You can't run away from it.
Yes.
Okay, so there you go. That's a gas station. Just fill it up before our next trip. Okay, so that's the map. We want to go to the river, so that's where we're going now. Sure, this feels beautiful. Not sure, this is probably a pump. Guys can just jump. I didn't come prepared, so wow. Okay, so now we're just gonna rent this quickly. It's like $200 a day. Okay, so it's electrical bike. It's on. That's the speed. So 1, 2, 3. We're gonna keep it safe. So we're gonna put it in 2. So this is forward and reverse. This is the accelerator. This is the brake. Look at this. They have their own garbage collection. How cool is that?
Born to be wild.
The company that imports them brings in a little vehicle, but all this, the steel work, this frame, the solar panel on the roof, these seats, it's all done in Orania.
So you can get your coffee here, right? And then look at this, some products outside. Nobody touches anything.
Sweet.
You said again about the station? No, something. So tell me why about the hotel?
Maybe do this.
I'm from the Orania Chamber of Commerce. We try to initiate projects where the local business can thrive on the challenges that they've got. And we try to tackle those challenges to best accommodate our local entrepreneurs in their business so that they can have economic growth. So one of the big challenges that we've seen in the past is, firstly financial security in terms of hard cash. So about 20 years ago, we initiated the Ura project, which is basically a coupon of the rand, which we make available to the local community. It is run by the bank, and basically what they do is when they receive 1 rand, we issue them with one Ura, and local banks then local businesses sits with Uras in the tills. So it creates a sense of safety, because if someone was to come in and rob the store, they can't just go and use it somewhere. So all the money is safely in the bank.
Hier kom maar 2 maal. So now I go to my beneficiaries, because I've been here a few times. So I go to Melk and Yenning, and I put in my amount here, and then I put my amount here, and I usually just put my name, and then you can just keep an eye there. As soon as I pay, it's instant.
Okay guys, so one thing that we notice is here in Orania, everything is in Afrikaans. So you don't have anything in English or any other national language or foreign language. So if you guys are basically lost, install the app Google Lenses on your phone, because you'll be able to translate the things in real time, menus and so forth and so on. So wait. Okay.
So you want to go to Google Lens, you hit translate, detect the language, you detect it. Okay, so now everything's been translated. Look at that. Please sign at the reception first.
So here's our local coupon system, our currency as we sometimes say. You can see the different series have different symbols on them. For this series we have the local animals and local trees that is native to our area. And then in the background, if you put the 10, the 20, the 50, the 100 and the 200 together, you will see that they are different sizes. You have the little giant Orania symbol that forms as a whole in the background. There you go.
I'm from the executive director of Warasol. Warasol is a community company. It's owned by the residents of Orania and the farmers of Orania. And in 2001 we made a decision that we must erect this solar installation here. It's a natural way to go with everything we do and with our energy too. It's not just to isolate us from our utility of Eskom, Eskom. Not just to do that. To grow our independence overall.
Okay, over here, this is now our farm. We've started 3 years ago. Last year we did the tunnel, and then this year we planted watermelons here on the outside. And then at the back we've got a whole olive orchard as well. Trees are about 15 years old. We took them over now, and half of them are in production already.
Finished with their last exam subject today, so most of them are on their way home already, but these are the ones left. So
yeah. So guys, nothing comes easy, eh?
It's nice, eh? Yeah.
So we actually just stopped here at Jost's office, and there you go. First thing we see, it's a car with the window open.
Yeah, this is Orania tap water. We bottle it. The way it comes out of the tap, you will see Orania tap water producted to Orania Town Council, and then you will see Orania's tap water It's getting cleaned by ourselves. It's pumped from the mighty Orange River, and Orania tap water is free. Taste freedom.
So let's not scare people for now.
This is basically a great asset, or tourism asset here in the Karoo. So guys, I'm having a Greek salad and Slava is having a rum steak. There you go. Again guys, make sure you share, subscribe and destroy that like button. And we will see you in the next LivinginSAtv video.